Assalamu alaikum, welcome to 9 PM English News, brought to live by Télé the headlines for tonight. Djibouti Indian signature of several agreements. The World Health Organization is committed to reduce cholera deaths by 19% by 2030. That was the headlines, and now welcome to the national news. The President of the Republic of India, Ram Nath Kovind, started a 48-hour official visit to the Republic of Djibouti, the first of its kind. The two men today had a series of meetings that took place at the residential place. The red carpet was unrolled for the circumstance on arrival at the place of President Ram Nath Kovind. And on the steps of the place, Mr. Ram Nath Kovind was warmly welcomed by head of state Ismail Gali. After a firm and fraternal handshake, the two heads of state responded to the solicitation of the photographers and the cameramen. Then the national anthem of the two countries were performed by the national band. The two men then proceeded to refuel the troops and receive military honors. The Egyptian head of state has for the occasion presented to his Indian counterpart members of the Egyptian government came to participate in the official reception of India President and take part in that work. Immediately after the military honors had been handed over, the two heads of state had gained the seal of honor of the place of the Republic of the Topi sheltered from the prize.
Mr. President, welcome to the Republic of Djibouti.
Head of state has for the occasion presented to his Indian counterparts members of the Egyptian government came to participate in the official reception of the Indian president and take part in the work. Immediately after the military honors had been handed over, the two heads of state had gained shall read from the prize. After a face-to-face meeting, the two presidents then co-chaired and spent a meeting with their ministers and technicians. Discussions focused on the various areas of cooperation and economic exchanges. Djibouti has always maintained a close relation with India and the presence of a strong community of Indian nationals on the national soil artists. This main agreement existed between the two countries and needed to be strengthening Indian support the economic development of Djibouti and over many scholarships to our students who are spread out in many universities in major Indian cities. India is an emerging economic power and is especially known for its demographic strength that flows that of the population of the People's Republic of China and is likely to extend it cover the next few years. As well as other powers, India is interested in Djibouti because of its geographical position, as the country is located at the entrance of the Red Sea and is also an open door to the countries of the Horn of Africa. India exports a large number of products to Djibouti, which for its part is interested to in the expertise of Indian industrial societies. Let us bear in mind that India has excelled in several sectors such as information technology and communication, technology, medicine, agro-industry, heavy industry and defense. India is also a nuclear power. At the end of meeting, the two sides confirmed their willingness to strengthen and diversify their cooperation in all sectors. The meeting was attended by Head of State Mamagele, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Minister of Economic and Finance Ilyas Musadawali, and the Deputy Foreign Ministry and Dinesh Wak-Mulay took part in the new agreement between the two countries were initiated by Minister Mahmoud Ali Yusuf and Dinesh Mulay.
In the line of credit as well as support, in international arena. We also have some specific requests, particularly in the solar and renewable sectors. Some further strengthening of cooperation in the SME sector. Also, there is a request of support for Indian expertise in fighting the terrorism, which is a kind of a global menace and was recognized as such by both the sides. Our President appreciated the help that was given to Indians who were caught up in the war zone in Yemen in the rescue effort in Rahat operation, and also invited the President on behalf of Government of India to attend the Solar Alliance Summit that is going to be held in India in December 2017.
The Egyptian Foreign Minister said to the press about the signed agreement and the proposal of the Indian President visit in Djibouti. Let's listen to him.
Stress the fact that the first visit of His Excellency the President of India to Djibouti, it means a lot for Djiboutians and for the economy and bilateral relation between the two countries. India had already a very deep relationship, deep-rooted cultural relationship and traditional relationship with Djibouti, and this is now, I think, a new chapter that has been opened by His Excellency the President of India by his visit to the Republic of Djibouti. He met this morning President Anglais, and there was an overview or overall discussions about security matters in the region, fighting terrorism, piracy, and one of the main items was also how we could strengthen and develop even more the bilateral cooperation, the technical cooperation. Djibouti is a founding member of the Solar Alliance, launched by His Excellency Prime Minister Modi, last year in Paris, and Djibouti will soon ratify that agreement. We would really like to see a good foundation for that technical cooperation. We know that in the ICT sector, India has been very, very dynamic and very productive. So Djibouti needs also that technology to be transferred to Indian technology to be transferred to Djibouti. And we also see that Djibouti can play the gateway role for Indian industrial products. That's why President Anglais proposed that an Indian industrial zone be developed in this country, and this will certainly become one of the main attractive zones that will help this part of the world find new ways to produce industrial products and also to try to sell them in the region.
The First Lady of India performed this morning a visit to the National Union of Djiboutian Women, also known the UNIVD, at her arrival. She was greeted by the First Lady President of the National Union of Women, Qadra Mohammed Haide. The event saw the participation of several leaders in the Ministry of Women and Family, Mrs. Momina Ahmed Hassan, the Secretary of UNIVD, and several parliament. Then the guests are directed to the reception room or held a brief presentation of the role of this institution in Djiboutian society and their struggles for the rights of girls and women and their implication in the development process of the country. The visit of the First Lady of India continued in the swimming workshops. Or dozens of young girls acquire a know-how that gives them the chance to have a better future. After the signature of this agreement, the presidential couple, His Excellency Anglais and his wife, Mr. Qadra Mohammed Haide, each offered the counterparts a lunch to the Indian President Roim, Nate Kevin and his wife, Savita Kevin. The Indian delegation and members of the government were also invited to this luncheon. This lunch took place in an atmosphere of density. It symbolizes above all the promise of long and lasting relationship between the two countries. The President of the Indian, His Excellency Ramneet Kevin, accompanied by his wife and the delegation, left today late afternoon Djibouti airport after for 8 hours visit. During this visit, the Indian President met with the President of the Republic, His Excellency Anglais, memorandum of understanding between the two countries. Let us bear in mind that India is one of the first industrial powers in the world. The People's Place hosted a training workshop on the creation and management of income-generating activities organized by the Vulnerability Reduction Support Program in the coastal fishery area on October the 18th. The objective of this training workshop are introducing women to the process of implementing an income-generating activity on a micro-project scale, training women in the adaptation of an entrepreneurial approach, and finally promote among women the spirit of collective entrepreneurship and creativity. This workshop is to organize for the women's organization and association of the region of the interior, namely the region of Arta, Tajura, Obo and Djibouti City. This workshop was attended by the Private Coordinator Mr. Sebidan Mohammed Meir and Cemetery women from the regional association mentioned above. The General Security Agency AGS and the Djiboutian Taekwondo Federation cooperated to train agenda and teach them the technique of self-defense. 15 people benefited from this training, which lasts in 50 days. The President of the General Security Society, Mr. Hussein Mohammed Roble, and the Secretary General of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, Mr. Mao, also President of the Taekwondo Federation, took this initiative. At the end of the training course, certificates were given to training officers. The Health Ministry Dr. Jama El-Mawki received a delegation of Turkish investors led by the President of the Global Project, Mr. Volkan Kazova, and the representative of the Council for Foreign Economic Relations, Mr. Ezra and Sahivur. During their interview, the Minister and the members of the Turkish delegation discussed ways and means to support the development of hospital infrastructure in Djibouti. Mr. Sudar Kane, a representative of the Medical Park Group representing 720 leading hospitals in Turkey and around the world, who submitted to the Minister of Health the group's desire to invest in the Republic of Djibouti. Mr. Kane expressed the invitation of his group Medical Park to invest very soon in Djibouti in the creation of a new prefect hospital, which according to him will allow them to position themselves as a market leader, including Africa, East Asia, in the Arabian Peninsula and Asia. Always in the fight against illegal immigration, on the night of 3 to 4 October 2017, the police station at Legasel once again carried out an operation in the Marparizo area. During the operation, the gendarmerie arrested 134 illegal immigrants, including 26 women of Ethiopian descent who all wanted to go to the Gulf countries. These immigrants received humanitarian assistance in water and food by the police officers. At the end, they were reappointed on October 4, 2017 at the border of the Caliph with the following means of the police. And now the major news from the international scene. NFT's new strategy to reduce debt from cholera by 19% by 2030 will be launched tomorrow by the Global Task Force on Cholera Control, a diverse network of more than 15 UN and international agencies, academic institutions and NGO that supports countries affected by the disease. Say Mohammed has more update.
2030. The World Health Organization is proud to be part of these new joint initiatives to stop death from cholera. The disease takes its greatest toll on the poor and the vulnerable. This is quite unacceptable. This roadmap is the best way we have to bring this to an end, said Theodros. The World Health Organization General Director Cholera disproportionately impacts communities already burdened by conflict, lack of infrastructure, poor health systems, and malnutrition. Protecting these communities before cholera strikes is significantly more cost-effective than continually responding to outbreaks. The global roadmap provides an effective mechanism to synchronize the effort of countries, donors, and technical partners. It underscored the need for a multi-sectoral approach to cholera control with countries-level planning for early detection and response to outbreaks.
That's it for tonight's news. Thanks for being with us and have a wonderful evening.